Oh, my grandmother.
Well, that's worship.
Grandmaster Flash.
Good, how are you?
Good, how's the drive?
Fine.
Where'd you come in from today?
Kearney.
And you're heading off then after the meeting?
To Oklahoma.
Yeah. What time do you gotta be there by?
I'll probably drive to Wichita tonight and drive the rest of the way for
That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, for sure.
Go grab something with you, but it doesn't sound like it'll work this time. Maybe it's good.
Okay, it is now 5:30 p.m. and it is time for the McCook City Council to begin. Roll call shows all council members are here tonight, and there is a copy of the Open Meetings Act that is posted by the entrance to the council chambers and is available for public review if anybody would like to look at it. And today we're going to have the invocation with Jeff Catley. Jeff, thank you for coming.
Well, thank you, Mayor, and I always make some comment, feels like it's just necessary, but I want to say I really appreciate the fact that the council runs its business by looking at every individual thing on your agenda. It's not all lumped together and everybody can, so it's not comparing this to that or whatever. Just, this is the issue and we deal with that one, and if there are others, we deal with those later on. So I just wanted to say that I appreciate the way you run your business. So,
Well, thank you. I
okay.
appreciate hearing that.
So if you would join me in attitude of prayer. God, we are grateful for these public servants that not only give their time, but their effort and their energy to lead our city. We thank you for all the employees who make our place to live a little better, for those who serve us through police and fire and rescue and all the other employees of the city. Just thank you for their diligence and their work. We appreciate so much what they do. And we just simply ask that your blessings would be upon this gathering this evening, that your wisdom would be imparted to those who are making decisions, that you would help people who may need to share something to do so in a respectful manner, and just be with us and help us to treat each other the way we ought to be treated. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay, let's do the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item number 1 on the agenda is any announcements or recognitions.
Just really quickly, we have a Board of Zoning Adjustment meeting that's scheduled for next Monday at 5:30 p.m. There's a variance request that will be considered at that time. I don't think anything else. I guess tomorrow I know we have a pool committee meeting that Tara and I will be participating in. I guess at 9 o'clock. But just getting an update for others.
I would like to recognize Pat and the water department. I went to work the other day and there was a little spot of water in the middle of the street, and I thought that's a little weird because, we didn't have snow that would have dropped off, and I thought, well, somebody must have drained something out of their car. I came home and there was this big thing and it was running down the street. So I came down here and they got a hold of Pat and he sent the boys up right away. Those guys worked diligently to get that taken care of. And I can't tell you how much that means to the city of McCook that they would come up and take care of it immediately, because these are things that happen. This town is an old community and the area I live in is a little older, so we can expect it to happen. So thank you, Pat, and please thank the guys because they just worked diligently right through, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, we have, anything else, council? Okay. We have, McCook Lodge number 135, McCook Masonic Bodies presentation regarding the upcoming McCook Aquatic Park Cornerstone ceremony scheduled for May 18th at 1 o'clock. Would you like to come up and talk about it? We're excited.
It's gonna be a short talk because there's a nasty storm coming and I wanna get home and
I understand.
So, the lodge and the 108 members of McCook Lodge cordially invite you to attend this ceremony, May 18th. It's at 1 o'clock. And I was just by the swimming pool, and I think we're probably gonna go to the pavilion instead of by the pool, because I don't think there's gonna be any cement poured there yet. We're not gonna do it in the dirt. So it's probably gonna get moved to the pavilion, which is no big deal. We're pretty flexible, and there's more parking that way, so. Bring a guest if you like. There's gonna be plenty of room. It's gonna be a nice day, I hope.
You hope.
And you'll be able to see kind of what we do in our spare time. Set cornerstones. It's just gonna be symbolic, but anyway, it's kind of neat. It'll take about 40 minutes.
Okay.
It's only gonna take about 40 minutes, not a long time. Long enough, but not a real long time.
Let them know how many are usually done in the state of Nebraska.
Oh, they've done 2 this year and the one for the aquatic park. And then I think there's 3 more scheduled for the year, just in Nebraska.
Wow.
So it's quite a few. Quite a few. Not a lot, but we enjoy doing it.
Well, we appreciate all you do.
Well, good, thank you.
Thank you so
If you have
much.
any questions, you can call.
I'd like to publicly thank you for your generous gift donation to
Oh,
the
you're
pool
welcome.
from the lodge. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
It was kind of a fluke.
It's wonderful.
We sold a house that was costing us a lot. We said, what are we gonna do with this money?
That works.
Let's kickstart this swimming pool that we needed for,
Long time.
I've been gone 3 years and I lived here then. 10 years before that, I remember Bob Newhouse telling me, I don't know how long it's been since Bob was here,
Yeah.
we need a new swimming pool.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And that was a long time ago.
And the kids, the children in this community are so excited. I
Oh,
see
yeah.
them and they're asking, now when is it going to open? And, they're really excited. And a lot of them make their parents drive by there all the time to see
Well, good.
what's
Good.
going on. So,
We'll be
thank
glad
you
to be
very
part of
much.
it, so.
What's your technical opening date?
They'll find out in the morning.
Yeah, actually, we'll have a better idea
We'll
tomorrow.
have a better idea when we get updated. Yeah,
Okay,
so,
so there's a little bit of information. That is, you have a program.
yes.
We're gonna finalize the program tomorrow night when the Grand Lodge officers will be here. It's gonna be close to what you're looking at, but it's gonna be some changes. So I had them done, I thought I'll bring them along.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna get down.
There you go.
Be careful.
Drive safe. Good. Are you?
You guys know that we're in a really bad area? Yes.
Yes.
We are.
Weather-wise.
You are.
Yes. Yeah, we're in a worse area. So,
Be safe.
Be safe.
yeah, thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Real funny, yeah. Okay, next item on the agenda is a public hearing, a request for a special exception by Brian and Jessica Luke to locate a bed and breakfast vacation rental in a medium-density residential district. Property located at number 1 Clubhouse Drive, Lot 1, Block 7, Golf Course, First Edition to the City of McCook, Red Willow County, Nebraska.
I move to recess as the city council and convene a public hearing for the purpose of receiving public comment with respect to the request for special exception by Brian and Jessica Luke to locate a bed and breakfast / vacation rental in a medium density residential district. Property located at number 1 Clubhouse Drive, Lot 1, Block 7, Golf Course, First Edition to the City of McCook, Red Willow County, Nebraska, with the city attorney to act as hearing officer.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion, council? Okay, all those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
Yeah, you're good, you're good, you're good. Electronic or switch or hands?
Try it again.
Small signals.
Smoke signals?
There it goes. There it went.
I only have yay.
Yes, for one. That's cheap.
I votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Okay,
Thanks, Mayor.
Yeah.
There are 9 exhibits being offered tonight. Exhibit number 1 is the city manager's report, 1 page. Yeah, you're not getting away that easy.
you stay.
I'm excited to get back to work.
Exhibit number 2 is a notice of public hearing, 1 page. Exhibit number 3 is a notice of public hearing publication, 1 page. Exhibit number 4 is ownership list for mailing, 1 page. Exhibit number 5 is the City of McCook Land Use Action Request Form, 11 pages. Exhibit number 6, Article 9, Residential Medium Density District, 3 pages. Exhibit number 7 is Article 24, Special Exceptions, 1 page. Exhibit number 8 is the findings and determinations of the McCook City Council, 2 pages. Exhibit number 9 is the McCook Planning Commission meeting minutes dated April 8, 2024, and that's 4 pages. I'll accept exhibits 1 through 9 into evidence, take comments from city staff and our applicant before opening it up to the public. Nate?
Thank you. Terry, could I have you go to exhibit number 5? And read the first, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 9th page. It's the overhead view of the property. Yep, right. Yep. All right, City of McCook has received a special exception request from Brian and Jessica Luke. The applicants are requesting the property located at number 1 Clubhouse Drive be granted a special exception status for the purpose of operating a bed and breakfast / vacation rental property out on the east side of the duplex structure. The Lukes actually live, and I'm saying the east side, it's probably the northeast side. The Lukes live on the southwest side of that structure, and it's their permanent residence. So I guess it's important to note that you're going to have people that are going to be located in that area that have a vested interest in the property. The property is actually located just west of the, or I guess southwest of the intersection of Wedgewood Drive and Clubhouse Drive. It's the only property on the south side of the street. And if you were to go ahead and circle back up to the north, the clubhouse is just located directly to the north, or I guess northwest of the property. So in review of the application, staff went through the Article 24 Special Exception Criteria review, as we do with all of these projects and requests. Primarily, when we look at these, we look at ingress and egress. We look at the parking situation. We want to make sure that it complies with the comprehensive plan, and then we also look at the other items as well too, just to make sure that there are no issues with the A through I criteria. Going through looking at this, it's a street that really is perfectly situated for something like this. It's a fairly wide street. While you get a little bit of traffic on there, it's not going to be unfettered amount of traffic that's going to create issues, or that this request will create issues with parking on the off-street parking side. I think if I remember correctly, were there three bedrooms or 4 bedrooms? 4 bedrooms. But the parking lot would be accessible, I think, to 4 vehicles specific to that northeast side. Plus, there could be accommodations made with the rest of the parking lot if need be, so that shouldn't be an issue. There's also a garage there that could accommodate parking as well too. One of the things we always point to when we have these kinds of discussions, we always look at the comprehensive plan to make sure that we're following along with the requirements of the comprehensive plan. And obviously, we're talking about the possibility of generating additional revenue. did talk to Jessica about this briefly, but, the property would be subject to hotel occupation tax. And so, we'd be able to generate some occupation tax as a result of this. One of the things that I know that there's a covenant, a restrictive covenant in that area. It's not something that the city of McCook is responsible for. I had a conversation with Brian at one point in time, and it was Brian's understanding that it's not, that this property is not under the covenant. I can't say that for sure. I didn't go back and take a look at it. That's what Brian had told me. But that really has nothing to do with our special exception criteria. You can only decide the special exception based upon A through I. This went to the Planning Commission last week. The Planning Commission voted unanimously to go ahead and approve recommendation of the request. I don't know if there's anything.
Jessica, do you want to add anything?
I mean, I don't have a lot to add. Like I said, we just see this as a benefit and something that we can offer, you know, for larger groups or potentially families that might want to come visit the area and have a weekend golf trip or something like that. So.
All right, any questions for our applicant before I open it up to the public?
How is that road with the cars coming through up and down?
We have some concerns, like personally. I know a lot of people don't obey the 25-mile-per-hour speed limit there. So that's a little bit of a concern for sure, having small children and pets. But
Is that something that we could help with?
Not with this specific request. We've had people that have asked about that before in the past. It's hard. We can't have people posted there all the time. So I don't know what the answer to that would be. But as far as this request, I think the street is sufficient.
Right.
Any other questions for our applicant? Any questions from the public for city staff or our applicant? Hearing none, I recommend we reconvene.
I move to adjourn the public hearing and reconvene as a city council.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn the public hearing and reconvene as a city council. All those in favor vote yea, opposed nay. Oh, is there any discussion? Did you? Oh, we did. Kellyanne.
I missed the second.
I think it was Jerry, wasn't it?
It was Darcy.
Oh,
Darcy.
Yep.
Yep. Sorry. Got it. 5 votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Okay. Next item on the agenda
Thanks,
is.
Jess.
Still got to vote.
We still gotta approve it.
But if you want to say. Just in case.
Just in case. Okay, so we all need to mark yes, 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 and.
Yeah, we have to.
Yes.
You want to-
I move to approve the application for a special exception by Brian Jessica Luke to allow a bed and breakfast / vacation rental in a medium-density residential district, said property located at number 1 Clubhouse Drive, legally described as Lot 1, Block 7, Golf Course, First Addition to the City of McCook, Red Wheel County, Nebraska, finding special exception considerations A through I are satisfied.
I'll second that.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that?
Before votes are taken, as we always do on special exceptions, just go through each of the individual A through I. Any no vote on any of those individual categories is a no vote overall. They all have to be yeses for the motion to pass.
I have a couple of questions that I didn't want to ask Jessica. I don't think she'd have the answer, but
Sure.
First question is, for the lack of a better term, this special exemption stays with the Lukes when they sell the property. Does the exception go away?
No, the special exception runs with the law.
It stays with the property. Okay.
It can't be expanded or anything.
But it can be removed or revoked.
Okay. And I'd ask the fire chief as well as I'm asking you, is there any concern with the zoning, the bed and breakfast, with fire equipment, being able to get in and turn around and all that stuff we normally talk about when there's a dead end?
Yeah.
we've looked at that property several years ago when there was some other planning, being talked about, and we had no concerns at that time, so.
Okay. Anyone on concerns? Thank you, Your Honor. That's one of the questions I had. Okay. I don't even have to ask what today's date is. We all know what today's date is.
Tax day.
Open your wallet and give it to the government. Did I say that out loud?
Well, they gave me money. I thought that's the way it worked. Isn't that the way it works?
Not in my place.
Oh.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, it didn't work that way?
No.
You don't have my account yet.
Okay, are we ready for the question?
Huh?
All 5 council members completed their form and all are yes.
Okay.
Now Jessica can leave?
Yeah, but question,
Yeah.
all right.
No,
All
we
right,
just-
all right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Do we vote now?
Yes.
Vote on it.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, guys. 5 votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Okay, you on this one?
Go ahead.
I move to recess as the city council and convene a public hearing for the purpose of receiving public comment regarding the redevelopment plan for the R. Perry Development Project as to its conformity with the general plan for the development of the city as a whole, with the city attorney to act as hearing officer.
I'll set, go ahead, Jerry.
Okay, any discussion, council? Okay, all those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
Five votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
There are 6 exhibits being offered for this public hearing. Exhibit number 1 is the city manager's report. It's 2 pages. Exhibit number 2 is the notice of public hearing, 1 page. Exhibit number 3 is the address list, 1 page. Exhibit number 4 is the copy of notice of public hearing mailed, 5 pages. Exhibit number 5 is the redevelopment plan for the R. Perry redevelopment project in the city of McCook. That's 14 pages. Exhibit number 6, the McCook Planning Commission meeting minutes dated April 8, 2024, and that's 4 pages. I'll accept exhibits 1 through 6 into evidence, take comments from city staff, then our applicants before I open it up to the public. Nate?
And I'll have you change it to exhibit number 5, page 1. Right there. Scroll down, and we enlarge that a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Hope everybody can see that. And Joe Johnson is present. He'll be able to answer any questions that the council may have regarding this particular public hearing item. We're familiar with this area. We've done quite a few TIF projects along Highway 83. Just for background, in 2013, a flight and substandard determination study was completed that includes this redevelopment area. And as mentioned, we've done quite a few projects up and down Highway 83 as a result of that. We've got a couple of hotels and some other buildings, businesses that have been part of our redevelopment efforts. In this particular instance, what we're talking about is the development of single-family residential, and specifically the Nebraska Community Development Law allows for workforce housing to be included as TIF eligible expenses. It's a relatively new addition to the Community Development Law. I think it was 2021 when it was passed by the state legislature. But what's being proposed is the development, and if you can maybe zoom in just a tad bit more, Tara, there's 3 lots just east of Heritage Hills and west of Highway 83, north of the Copper Mill. The lots are outlined in red. Those 3 lots are the lots that Art Perry is looking at developing as residential single-family developments. That area kind of has an interesting history. At one point in time, it was a planned unit development. The plan was to go ahead and build a number of duplex / condominium / townhouse units. I'm not sure, it predates me. It was 2003 when the developers were looking at doing that project. Then in 2007, these 3 lots were specifically administratively split from the remainder of those lots. So 6 of those smaller lots, they were 37-foot lots. They were actually combined into 3 lots, with each of those lots that you see in front of you getting 2 37-foot sides to go ahead and make it large enough for a single-family residential development. And so since 2007, those 3 lots have sat there undeveloped. Prime spot. Why, I don't know. I would assume probably the cost of building has been kind of a complicating factor. So we're excited. We've got a proposal and a plan as part of this project to go ahead and develop these units, these 3 residential units. And the plan is a similar plan to what you've seen before. It is a little bit different. There's a little variation just because of the fact that these are rural workforce housing developments. Typically in the past when we've had TIF projects, they've been for external development projects, whether it's dirt work, maybe it's right-of-way improvements, maybe we're running utility lines or whatever the case may be. Because of the new law that the legislature has passed, we can actually utilize tax increment financing to assist with the actual structure build out itself. And so this particular project, we're looking at a $300,000 per lot construction cost. That's what the guesstimate is at this point in time, and that's what's built into the documents that you see in front of you. But the original valuation, kind of working through page 4 of the redevelopment plan, it shows the current value of the lots at $34,689. It's estimated that based upon the improvements that are going to be made, the lots will be valued at $1,005,000 following completion of the project. So the valuation difference will be $970,000. Using the current levy of 1.75 and change, it's believed there's going to be an annual projected tax shift in the amount of $17,055, which would be collected by the CDA and then paid out to the developer pursuant to the terms of the contract. And that's going to help offset the differences that I'm going to have Joe talk about here shortly. One of the things when we go through the redevelopment plan, we make sure that it is in accordance with state law. So you go through, look at the plan, and it shows these are the variables, the criteria that we looked at to ensure that we're following state law. We also make sure that it's in conformity with a comprehensive plan. And obviously, housing is a detrimental need. I think that Charlie's in the audience. I think that we're 187 units short, if I remember correctly, per our 2022 study. And despite our efforts, we need to do more. So this is a way for us to go ahead and build more residential units in our community. There's also a cost-benefit analysis. We already talked about the cost-benefit analysis briefly. We're talking about a 15-year period of time. And I guess, you know, when you start going through and looking at it, typically we'll say, okay, is the school okay with this? Is the county okay with this? Is the city okay with this? Or, you know, are we losing a lot of revenue as a result of allowing the TIF to go ahead and flow through to the developer over a 15-year period of time? In this particular case, going through that cost-benefit analysis, it is a no-brainer. You know, at some point in time in the future, 15 years out for sure, maybe sooner, depending on what that valuation comes back as, that's going to go back on the record, and we're going to start collecting improved valuation property tax dollars as opposed to unimproved valuation property tax dollars. The ROI, that's a requirement due to the fact that we're talking about rural workforce housing. That's found on page 6 and page 7 of the plan. And like I said, I'll have Joe kind of go through our Perry and Joe's thoughts as far as how this pencils out. It's a very unique, I think it's an extremely unique method, and I actually kind of feel fortunate that McCook was selected. Our Perry has a pretty aggressive schedule, and it's kind of exciting for rural Nebraska. But the big thing for the city of McCook is we needed to make sure that we built out the plan a table that showed that there's going to be no unjust enrichment on the part of our Perry and the developer. I feel comfortable that we accomplished that. I know Joe had a lot of conversations with our TIF attorney, Andrew and Allison. I think it was Allison was the primary conduit between us and Joe. But I feel comfortable that we're going to be able to satisfy all those elements, and also hopefully make it so it's worth our Perry and Joe's time to go ahead and build McCook. So with that, I'll go ahead and I'll turn the floor over to Joe.
Yeah, good evening, Mayor and City Council. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate it. Prior to my day job, I worked with Olson Engineering Firm in the state of Nebraska and elsewhere, and that's why I need to take off to Oklahoma tonight.
Oh, no.
I oversee the business development individuals within Olson. So, before coming to Olson, I was a city manager administrator in the state of Nebraska for 15 years. So I always tell people that when I came into city administration, I didn't know what TIF was, had not a clue. And the first developer that came and said, hey, I want to do a TIF project, tax increment financing project, I had to learn what that was and what that impact to the community that was going to have. So I started cutting my teeth on that very early on, and then I've been a force ever since then, working with TIF. And one of these, just like Nate said, was rural workforce housing TIF. So it's much different than regular TIF. Regular TIF can only be used for public improvement projects, where workforce housing TIF can be used on a vertical build. So meaning it doesn't have to go to public infrastructure improvements. It can be used on the price of the house. So you're probably asking yourself, well, why does that make sense? Why don't we just use it on the infrastructure? So what we're going to do and what we're proposing tonight is that all throughout rural Nebraska, so outside of Lincoln and Omaha, we have a plan to build 1,000 rural workforce housing homes out in greater Nebraska, outside of Lincoln and Omaha, over the next 5 years. That's our goal. So we're going to communities that want to take this voyage with us. And the catch is that we're going to build a $336,000 home. And if we were just building this outright as a speculative home, we'd put it on the market for $350,000 and take somewhere in between that number. So 336 gives us a return on investment of about 12% per house, which is pretty typical. But we'd probably shoot for a little higher than that, put it on the market for $350,000 and get somewhere in between there. So here's the catch, is we're going to put that $350,000, $336,000 home on the ground in McCook. We cannot sell it for a penny more than $300,000 according to the law. That means somebody's going to walk into that house, whoever, and we're going to sell them. We're the first person, first family that shows up with cash, we're going to sell it. They're going to walk into an immediate asset. They're going to have an immediate asset when they purchase that home. The homes are 3-bedroom, 2-bath, main floor, 2-car garage, unfinished basement, with a potential of putting 2 more bedrooms and 1 more bath in the basement. And we believe doing this model, we're going to get people to recycle in the market. So meaning that there's probably individuals in this community that can afford that step up. That step up's not here. And by them continuing to reside in a home and not stepping up, that doesn't free up the less expensive, beginner home price point. So that's what we hope to accomplish. We're currently doing projects in Sydney and Holdridge. This will be our third. And South Sioux City and Grand Island, and kind of up in northeast Nebraska, kind of around Norfolk. We're working with a pocket of communities, maybe doing 1 or 2 homes in each of those communities.
But our goal is never to come in and build 50 homes, because we destroy the price of the market just in general. And we would have probably a hard time selling those homes if we did that. But we do work on economies of scale because we cannot sell these homes for more than $350,000. That means our profit on the upfront sell of this home is nothing. So we have to work with economies of scale. So we are working with Mead Lumber across the state of Nebraska that providing all the lumber and building materials. Our Perry Construction, who this is a partnership between Our Perry and Community Capital Partners. Our Perry Construction has concrete foundation and framing and finishing all on their team, so they're going to be moving teams around the state of Nebraska. We'll be looking for local electricians and plumbing and HVAC here locally.
Okay. Any questions?
So you're saying the house is gonna 350?
300 is what we have to sell it for.
300, okay, 300.
Yep.
And the only way this pencils out is through the use of TIF. They're gonna get
How many-
paid back over a period of 15
How many
years.
square feet, Joe?
Right around, it differs. These ones will have walkout basements, so they'll have to be a little bit bigger. But they were anywhere from 1,250 to roughly 14 at the max. Yep.
Are these three the only ones you're gonna do? Is there like a round two maybe in the future?
Absolutely, yep. So, and I wouldn't say, there's probably multifamily as well that we're interested in McCook. We think from a McCook standpoint, just from what we see, it's grossly underserved with multifamily, and specifically a professional multifamily. And it's not to say that there's other bad products here or not appropriate, but we feel there's a void in that $1,200 a month payment. You know, so 2-bedroom, 2-bath multifamily structure with covered parking or garage parking, things like that. Workout pool, things like that. Those amenities. So, yeah.
Thank you.
But to answer your question, we would, from a single family perspective, yes. I mean, once we get crews moving here, we want to keep them here. So in Sydney, there's 13 lots, and we have the ability to buy 20 more lots there. It's on existing infrastructure similar to this. I know Charlie and the crew, they're working on identifying additional lots here in town. So we'll keep busy if we can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Any questions from the public?
I guess I don't have a question. I'm Amanda Eagle with NBC as the Director of Housing Development, and I just want to express that we've been having conversations with Joe to get him here to this point. We've helped him however we can, and we are supportive of this project. We know that it's a need in the community. He has gone through our housing study. He knows the needs that we have. He's identified them, and so to Jerry's point as well, we want to do everything that we can to keep him here if we're able to. And we're really excited to have these 3 additional homes in the community if you guys vote to approve.
Thank you. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
When do you think you can start construction? Yet this year or?
Yeah, for sure. We want to get moving ASAP. So if this passes tonight, we'll be pulling permits here in the next 2 weeks.
And I'm gonna give a plug for the EDC and for Mark Perry and Lindsey Peterson up in North Platte. There were some things that we had to jump over in order to get to this point, and we had to move pretty quickly on it, and they did a fantastic job doing that. So a lot of work went into this just to get to this point.
It's been excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn as a public hearing and reconvene as a city council?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion, council? Okay, all those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
I votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
And we're going into the CDA, correct?
I think so.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I move to recess as a city council and to convene as the McCook Community Development Agency for consideration of CDA agenda at 6:09 p.m.
I'll second that.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
My vote's cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Okay. Do we go through the Open Meetings Act again?
Yes, you do.
Okay, roll call shows all council members here, and posted by the front door is an Open Meetings Act. If anybody would like to read it, it is there. And I call this meeting to order. The first item is adopt resolution number CDA 2024-01, recommending approval of a redevelopment plan for the R. Perry Development Project in the city of McCook, Nebraska, to the McCook City Council.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? I think it's wonderful. Thank you for investing in our community.
Thank you, Bert.
Real quick, you know that's hole number 4, right?
Yeah.
I tend to push that.
When construction's going on, we will be playing for sure.
High density plexiglass.
Yeah.
All those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
My vote's cast yea, no votes cast nay.
There you go.
Thank
I
you.
move to recess as the McCook Community Development Agency and reconvene as the McCook City Council.
I'll second that.
Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
My vote's cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
I move to adopt
Safe drive, Joe.
resolution number 2024-06, approving the R. Perry redevelopment project redevelopment plan for the city of McCook, Nebraska.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor vote yea, opposed nay. Who didn't get?
Oh, sorry. I hit okay. Second.
My vote's cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Okay, we're ready to recess again?
Sorry,
Nope.
I hit the wrong
Ignore that
one.
one.
I'll do this one.
Oh,
I have
Ready?
the other one.
Just one second, just one second.
Okay, she will do it.
I got it.
You got
is
it?
that it?
I move to recess as the McCook City Council and reconvene as the McCook Community Development Agency.
Second.
I missed the second. Who was that?
Darcy.
Darcy.
Okay.
We're just going so fast, Leanne.
You're not doing well tonight. My vote's cast yea, no votes cast nay.
I move to adopt resolution number CDA 2024-02, authorizing and approving a redevelopment agreement for the R. Perry redevelopment project, including the use of TIF for the redevelopment project.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay,
Just so you know, this is a similar agreement to what we've had in the past. We are fairly formulaic in the way that we handle these types of TIF cases. There are obligations that the city of McCook has. There are obligations that the redeveloper is going to have. On our end, we're going to issue the CDA, not the council, but the CDA is going to issue a promissory note in the amount of $250,000, $253,000. Which accounts for that differential that we talked about. That's what we believe the numbers support. On their end, they're going to promise that they're going to build 3 single-family residential units at the cost of $300,000, and they're going to sell at that same amount. They also are going to promise that they are going to take responsibility for the project. It's not the city's project, it's their project. So they've got to pay for the expenses of the build out. They've got to make sure that it's insured. They got to make sure the city's indemnified. They're going to be responsible for any shortcomings as far as, let's say that the valuation comes back less than what we think. They're going to be responsible for those shortcomings. So those are all the responsibilities that they have. They got to make sure that if they do sell it, it's got to be sold to an entity that is taxable, because the only way this works is by making sure that we derive the tax over the course of the 15-year period of time. Those are all things that they're responsible for. On our end, we're promising the tax increment. Again, it's a model that's totally different than what I've ever seen before. I think it's a very aggressive model on their side. I'm excited for this. I hope that it works. I hope that not just McCook, but the rest of outstate Nebraska gets the benefit of this. So, the fact that we can utilize this for the vertical build out, that's exciting. So I know that, I don't know if Amanda and Charlie are still back there, but I know they're excited about it as well. Yeah. So.
Great. Okay. Call the question?
Five votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
I move to adjourn the meeting of the McCook Community Development Agency at 6:15 p.m. and to reconvene as the McCook City Council.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor vote yes, opposed nay.
Five votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
I move to approve resolution number 2024-07, approving the redevelopment agreement between the City of McCook /CDA and R. Perry Construction.
Second.
Any discussion, council? Okay, all those in favor vote yes, opposed nay.
Five votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Is anybody else getting motion sickness from all this in and out?
In and out, yeah, tonight, wow.
Holy cow.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is to approve the proclamation designating April 26, 2024 as Arbor Day in the city of McCook and authorize the mayor to sign.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay?
Yeah, where's Kyle? Yeah, no, we missed Kyle.
We couldn't put him on a Zoom?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he feels up to that.
It's not right now, Kyle.
Well, and on our end, I'll just go through, I'll try my best to be Kyle, but no one can replace Kyle, so. On our end, I just wanted to go ahead and make sure that we reiterate the fact that the city of McCook has a tree rebate program. It runs from March 16th through June 8th. Then again in the fall from August 17th through November 16th. And we have our list of trees that are eligible. If anybody has any questions or concerns, they can always contact Debbie Thorpe, our administrative assistant. She's the one that actually runs that program for us. And then wanted to make sure that we noticed in the tree board members, they do a great job. We've got Lee Farrell, Dan Doolin, Ashley Cito, Joanna Scott, and Larry Eisenmayer. And then Debbie is the one that kind of helps Debbie and Kyle kind of run the show from behind the scenes, so they do a great job. There is a planned tentative celebration set for April 23rd for a tree planting at the community hospital. I asked Debbie, she said the 23rd. I saw that today, and it says 24th on there, but I think it's the 23rd. I think so. It's either gonna be the 23rd or the 24th. I saw the 24th on there, and Debbie said no. She said the 20th. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
So we'll get notice out to the media. So I asked her specifically because there are emails that said the 23rd, but this says the 24th. But we're just waiting to hear back from the hospital to make sure that it works for them to plant a tree at their locale. And the event will be 2:30 to 3 p.m. that afternoon. So we are just kind of waiting to hear back.
Okay. Is there any discussion, Counselor? Okay, all those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
Five votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is to approve the proclamation designating the week of April 21st through 27th, 2024 as Public Transit Week in the city of McCook and authorize the mayor to sign.
So move.
Second.
Okay,
I wanna say something.
Come on up.
you
The
wanna
city
come
should
on
be
up?
very proud, you guys. This is our 50th year of providing public transportation.
50th year.
Yes, it started in
Wow.
1974, so that is amazing. Last year, we provided 5,882 rides, and that's the highest ridership we've had since 2016. So, it's so important, you guys. We take people to work, to medical appointments, shopping. It is a much needed service in the city of McCook. So, during the week, we will have giveaways, and we have some drawing also. So, does anybody have any questions?
Were 50 years ago, was a horse drawn?
You're talking to an old person. I graduated in 75, sir. And no, we had cars. And hopefully we'll eventually get the new van that's been ordered since 2020.
That was my question.
That was my question. Where's our van?
Yes.
2020?
Yeah, it was when yeah, that's how long it's been.
So what's the
Currently, they
update?
are offering a 2-wheel drive, and none of us wants a 2-wheel drive, we want the 4-wheel drive, so.
I'm gonna go off-road.
It has gone from a $60,000 vehicle to over a $90,000 vehicle just in that 4-year period of time.
Will we get it before the 100th anniversary?
But you guys, we're very fortunate that our vehicles don't have, I mean, they've got miles, but we're doing fine, getting along with our new bus. I still call it our new bus, and how old is it? But people appreciate having a wheelchair lift.
Sure they do.
We have so many provide so many wheelchair rides, and that lift, even if you're in a walker, is very, very nice.
And Beth, Donna, and Justin, they deserve a lot of credit. I've been over at the senior center early in the morning, and you should hear the phone ring off the hook. I mean, it starts at 7:45, 8 o'clock, and it just goes nonstop. And they're constantly making sure that they put the ridership or the riders, interests first. Trying to make sure they get everybody from point A to point B. So they do a fantastic job.
Donna does an excellent job. She can understand almost everybody, I do believe, without an interpreter. And Justin has just been delightful. Our riders have so enjoyed him. So, thank you.
Thanks, Beth. Thank you.
Okay, all those in, any other discussion? All those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
Five votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. The consent agenda is approved on one motion. Any item listed on the consent agenda may, by the request of any single council member or public in attendance, be considered as a separate item under the regular agenda. Any council member?
I have nothing to quote you on that.
Staff? Public? Okay,
On the consent agenda, I'll make the motion that we accept items A through I. Second.
okay. We've got, is there any discussion? Other than that, okay, all those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
Five votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Moving on to the regular agenda now. Ordinance number 2024-3079, amending the City of McCook's Code of Ordinances by removing Chapter 93 and amending Sections 95.01, 95.02, 95.03, and 95.04 entitled 9 General Regulations. I introduce ordinance number 2024-3079 by title and ask the clerk to please read the title.
An ordinance in the city of McCook, Nebraska, amending the city of McCook Code of Ordinances by repealing chapter 93 entitled Unlicensed Vehicles in its entirety, amending chapter 95 entitled Nuisance, Health and Sanitation, sections 95.01 define 95.02 specific nuisances, 95.03 abatement services and notice procedures for nuisances, and 95.04 jurisdiction. To provide that the ordinance shall be made a part of the city of McCook Code of Ordinances, repealing all ordinances or part of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing for the effective date and publication thereof.
Anybody want it?
Ordinance number 2024-3079 has been introduced, read by title. I move that the statutory rule requiring reading on 3 different days be suspended. Second.
Any discussion, council? Okay, all those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
I votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
I move for the final passage of ordinance number 2024-3079.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
Anybody in public? Is there anybody from the public want to comment?
No?
And we've got some contracts afterwards, we'll have Amber.
Yeah, we've got some things going on.
Okay, I just want,
Yeah.
if there was public discussion on this.
Okay. Ready for your question.
I votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Ordinance number 2024-3079 is declared lawfully passed and adopted upon publication as required by law. Next item is to approve and enter the nuisance abatement agreement with West Central Nebraska Development District Incorporated.
So moved.
Second. Okay, hi,
Good evening.
good to see you ladies.
Thank you. I made Erica come. No, I'm just kidding. She's happy to be here. You're going to see her face a lot more from now on versus mine. So she's going to be working the nuisance program in your community. Thought it would be good to get her acquainted. I also wanted just to note that your city staff have been great to work with on this. I'm used to having to hound people, and they've taken a lot of that off of my plate. So thank you.
That's nice
Thank
to
you.
hear.
Do you have any questions about the agreement or how the program will get started?
I'm excited that we're going to get it started.
We are too.
Yeah.
The map, what is that on page? What page is that, Leanne?
Right there it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on 6 and 7 of that attachment.
Okay, yeah. What section will you guys be responsible for?
We will be reviewing section 1, in the northwest corner there. The pink with the little leg that goes up north.
Amber, 1 second, we're gonna flip it around
Okay.
here so everyone can see.
There you go. This is the section that we'll begin with.
And then our plan, I mean, the way that we've constructed the ordinance is to ensure that West Central is able to operate in the districts that they are focusing on. And then the city's still gonna be able to continue to operate in other districts, just kind of as we have, but we've incorporated their requirements into the way that we do things to make sure that we're not stepping on their feet and vice versa, so.
So the eastern boundary is West 10th. The northern is West M Street. Am I reading that right?
I think West O.
West O?
Yeah, I think it's West O.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. The jog is the four-way stop at M Street.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then it includes the west side of Highway 83?
That's not really a big right now.
I was gonna
It's
say,
more the-
here's why you included that one.
Yeah, that's just the way that it was drafted.
Oh, okay. And J Street is on the south border, except for that little jog. My house isn't in there, is it? I'm a little curious, it's close.
No.
I'll do whatever junk I need to abate, but still, I'll take care of it.
That has happened before. you
We're
know.
more worried about Brian than Gary.
You're
We're worried about
You should
Brian.
worry.
looking at mine.
Yeah, it is.
And while some of the sections are odd shaped, we do that to kind of evenly spread out there's not a lot of method to the madness, but they're all even number of parcels this way.
And I'm sure we've asked in the past, I apologize. Timeline?
So we'll begin, given that everything goes well here tonight, we'll begin reviewing at the end of the month or the first part of May. You won't hear from us to declare those properties until approximately June, however, because we do give them adequate due process to clean up upon that courtesy letter.
Good. Good.
We will have reviewed twice by the time we come to you, so.
And we'll work with them,
Yeah.
police department, obviously Debbie, admin, we'll do whatever we need to make sure that they're able to operate the way they need to operate. And then also on our end, we'll continue to try to focus on the other areas of town as well too.
And then after a process, you publish in the paper, I believe that I've watched in other communities. And so how does that work? Is it after you send the letters? How does that work?
So a lot of times we publish if we can't reach, if those certified mailings are not picked up,
Okay.
that's when we run into publishing. Or at the end of the program, when we're moving to abate, we do a 5-day notification that also publishes in the paper.
Okay.
So we always encourage, you may get calls, as I told you before. Send them all Erica's way. We are here to take that burden from you. You don't have to explain.
No, yes, that's why I'm here.
You don't have to explain anything to them. Just say that's what we have West Central for. We're happy to take those calls. And we always encourage people to pick up their certified mail so that they're not posted in the paper.
Yeah. And it gives them, in the letter that we send, it explains that as well, that if they do not, because with the declared letter, they will receive a letter, regular mail, but as well as certified. So if they don't pick up the certified, that's when we will post that property and publish in the paper. And it explains that in both of the letters because they're identical.
Okay.
I haven't asked a dumb question yet this meeting, I'm aching to ask them. Your office, do you work out of an office? Does the city provide a
No,
space?
we work out of our vehicles while we're here. We just do drive, we don't get out of our vehicles, but we do windshield assessment. So we don't get out of our vehicle, we just do from public view and we will take pictures.
All of our mailings and everything come out of our Ogilvy office.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I just could imagine you having stamps in your back seat,
Well,
and certified tags.
Yeah.
Okay.
We spend tens of thousands of dollars a year on stamps, so.
We have t-shirts, stamps.com,
Yeah.
I see your fee is what, $21,785, right?
Yes,
That's to the end of December, correct?
correct.
Okay, so, and then will that just roll over, or do we have to renew it with you guys again?
So we'll renew every year, given that the program's going well, we'll make any modifications to our map or anything like that. The properties that we review this year, it's our intention to get those taken care of within this season. Now, our reviews and our attendance at your meetings will end October 31st. That's when we find that the weather is not conducive to reviewing nuisance items. Once you have a coat of snow on there, you can't tell what's there and what's not. So while our contract goes through the end of the year, our reviews will end at October 31st. However, there is, if both parties, us and you, agree that we have a couple remaining, we'll move those into next year and take care of those at no additional cost because that is built into this cost. And we have to just agree upon, those 7 properties or whatever carrying over into the spring. And that's how we like to handle that. And we've made that a stipulation because we have some communities that just didn't move to abate in a timely fashion. So keeping in mind that we will both agree on those things.
And one thing I want to make sure that we know, we've talked about this already, but in the general fund, the council's approved $35,000 for and so that's where this is going to come out. So it's already been budgeted for. We've got a little bit more money left as well too. The question would be, you know how much it costs to go ahead and abate nuisances. You know, when we start talking about demolition costs and whatnot, it gets really expensive. So we may be in a situation where we're gonna have to expend those funds for things other than demolition, if we need to. But we do have that money accounted for, so that part's there.
Okay,
And you are still good with moving forward with Zoom presentations from this point forward?
Assuming the council's okay with that, and that makes it a little bit cheaper.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, anything else, council? Any other questions? Thank you for coming down. And we look forward to working with you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Are you all ready? All those in favor, vote yea.
Do we have,
Yeah, we have a
motion to
motion.
approve the resolution?
Oh, I was just.
We're
Interim
approving the
agreement.
agreement first. That's where we're at.
Okay.
I move to adopt resolution number 2024.
Well, we're in the
Wait,
agreement now.
we gotta vote on the.
Sorry, the
I
agreement's
thought we
already.
did.
I thought we
We
did.
haven't voted yet.
You didn't, yes.
voted.
We did.
Cause I like to.
You wiped us out.
You wiped
I
me
can
out?
Zoom, come on here, sorry.
And that's hurtful.
My votes
Deanne.
cast Jay, no votes cast nay.
I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight. Now I move to adopt resolution number 2024-09, approving the appointment of West Central Nebraska Development District Incorporated to act as nuisance officer for the city of McCook.
I second that. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor, vote yea, opposed nay.
Okay. There it goes.
And this vote comes with a pretty please. Pretty please help us. Okay.
They will, they do a good job.
Oh,
My
yeah.
votes cast Jay, no votes cast nay.
Okay.
No,
Congratulations.
we did.
Okay, next item on the agenda is to authorize the city staff to proceed with filling a complaint to foreclose the special assessment on original town additional lot 10, lot 4, commonly referred to as 406 East First Street.
So moved.
Second, any discussion?
All right.
You got it?
Sure.
Okay,
Educate us.
As my report says, this is going on about 2 years now since we demolished the single-family dwelling over on East First Street. After we did so, we assessed the cost of demolishing it against the property. In Nebraska, you foreclose a special assessment in the same manner that a bank would foreclose a mortgage, except it does have a couple more, call them guardrails. You can't actually confirm the sale after it occurs for 2 years. So we can move forward with it and have the sheriff's sale, but then you have to go back and have the district court confirm it 2 years afterwards. It gives them yet another chance to pay it before the city is allowed to foreclose it. So this is just the first step. We will file a complaint to start the foreclosure process, and within a couple months, we'll be able to have that sheriff's sale, but then we'll have to calendar that for a 2-year wait period.
okay.
Would it change anything if the property owners consented to proceeding without, if they waived the 2-year period?
It would have to be a contract between the homeowner, city, and prospective buyer. Yeah, it can be contracted around. Yeah. And I think we likely do have, some willing and able buyers.
I think we do have to,
Yeah.
so,
But this is the first step. Let's get it started in district court and start pushing that ball down the alley, and then we'll go from there when we need to.
okay. Anything else, council? Okay, all those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
My vote's cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is ordinance 2024-3076, providing for the amendment of chapter 38, appendix C, water department rates and fees. I introduce ordinance number 2024-3076 by title and ask the clerk to please read the title.
An ordinance providing for the amendment of chapter 38, fee schedule, appendix E, water department rates and fees of the City of McCook Code of Ordinances, providing a rate to be charged for water by the McCook Water Department, providing for the repeal of ordinance number 2023-3064 and any and all ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing for a time and date from and after which this ordinance shall take effect and be enforced.
Ordinance number 2024-3076 has been introduced, read by title, and I move to approve upon its third and final reading.
I second that. Is there any discussion?
I think it's important to reiterate why the rate modification is being suggested, and as we discussed, and as we have worked with PFM to kind of come up with a game plan for improving our water system. This has to be part of that process. If we are going to make the water improvement or water plant improvements and distribution improvements, that we need to make sure that we're adjusting the rates accordingly to account for those costs. So that's why we're making this proposal.
So if the council votes to approve, how soon can we get started with this?
We're already working on it. So we're working with Chris Miller and David Blau over at Miller and Associates to come up with the financing piece. We already have determined what the most important projects involved will be. Now it's just a matter of putting the financing together with both that and the wastewater portion. Pat, anything that you want to add?
I don't think so. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take time, so.
It's gonna take time.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And I will ask, we were talking last week, we've got distribution lines that are 115 years old, that need to be replaced. So we would ask for patience. These are items that kind of got pushed down the road to us, the council and staff, and so we're doing our best to address them, but it takes some time. And it's expensive.
Yes.
It is.
That the water project, I think it's estimated at $18 million.
Okay, any other discussion with anyone? Okay, all those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
My vote's cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Ordinance number 2024-3076 is declared lawfully passed and adopted upon publication as required by law. Next item is we have ordinance number 2024-3077, providing for the amendment of chapter 38, appendix D, sewer department rates and fees. I introduce ordinance number 2024-3077 by title and ask the clerk to please read the title.
An ordinance providing for the amendment of chapter 38, fee schedule, appendix D, sewer department rates and fees of the City of McCook Code of Ordinances, providing for the repeal of ordinance number 2023-3065 and any and all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing a time from and after which this ordinance takes effect and be enforced.
Okay, let's consider approval of ordinance number 2024-3077 upon its third and final reading. We have a motion.
So moved. I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion again?
exact same comments. We have a $14 million wastewater project that we know that we are going to have to move forward with here. I think 2027 will be the start date of that project. We're a little bit further along with that. Again, financing is going to be, what we're working on in the short term. Long term, we're going to build out this new plant. But the plant, a portion of it was built in the 1950s. A portion of it was built in the 1970s. The most recent portion of the plant was the UV treatment center back in 2006. And so there are a lot of things that have changed. The science has changed. We know that we need to make sure that we're making the adjustments to ensure that we're complying with both federal and state regulations. We also need to make sure that we're dealing with the waste as it leaves McCook as best we possibly can. And in order to do that, we need to build a new plant. That's the long and short of it. So that's why the rates are being adjusted upward, so that way we can account for the needs of the community.
Pay for it, yeah.
Anything else, anyone? Okay. All those in favor vote yea, opposed nay.
I votes cast yea, no votes cast nay.
Ordinance number 2024-3076 is declared lawfully passed and adopted upon publication as required by law. Council, any comments? Whoa.
I have none. Yeah, the choice gas selection period is still going on, so you've got till the 24th to make your selection, so.
And I want you to know, I did my due diligence today, and Ace is doing very well.
Good.
Okay, so if anybody doesn't want to do their due diligence, I mean, you sit there and you call all these people and they tell you all this stuff, and yeah, so anyway,
Thank you.
I thought that'd make you feel good.
It did, thank you, yeah.
All right.
And they did help purchase the bus.
And they did help purchase the bus, yes, okay. An executive session may be held upon a majority vote of the council.
Hey, Mayor.
But before we go into that, because of the weather, is there any way that we could switch the two items around?
We got an attorney here from North Platte that would probably love to get home.
Towards our tailing.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so where do you want me to go for her?
We'll go to the second one.
The second one, okay, so at this time, we're going to go into executive session.
So we'll go into executive session, and then we'll come back in
And then we'll grab you right after.
So take us a second.
Do you want the info before you do your executive?
I moved it